Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to Obas Trending Gist, the channel where we break down the moments that define our political landscape. Today, we are taking a trip down memory lane to look at the classic fairy interview that perfectly captures the high-stakes drama of Nigerian politics. We are talking about the time former Vice President Atiku Abubakar resigned from the PDP. His move set shockwaves through the political system, and his opponents came out swinging. One of the most memorable responses came from Lere Olayinka, who in this clip masterfully frames Atiku not just as a de facto, but as a single bad egg threatening to spoil the entire PDP bunch. Alright, in this first part of the clip, Lere Olayinka sets the stage with a very powerful analogy. He's about to make a huge claim, so pay close attention to how he uses a simple story about apples in a basket to launch his attack on the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar.
In a basket.
Sit back and take a watch.
The moment one of the apple gets spoiled, and you don't remove that one out of the 100, that one will infect the remaining 99, and the 99 will get spoiled.
Who's the bad apple here?
It's Atiku Abubakar.
You're sure he's the bad apple, not your principal?
He is. And let me because one of the problems we have in this country is that most of us are not students of history. In 2003, PDP's effort to win Lagos State was frustrated by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar when he was vice president. And that was how anti-party started in PDP. In 2018, you can Google it, when he went to Lagos, he personally apologized for the role he played in frustrating the effort of the PDP to win Lagos State in 2003.
Wow, not holding back there. He straight up calls Atiku Abubakar the bad egg. Now, in the next segment, he digs deeper into that history, accusing Atiku Abubakar of being the main reason the PDP failed to take control of Lagos State back in 2003. He argues that his pattern of alleged disloyalty is nothing new. Let's take a watch.
Now, look at it. If PDP had taken Lagos State then, look at the effect. That is 2003. In 2007, Atiku Abubakar holds the records of the first Nigerian as vice president, sitting vice president, that went to another party while still holding the mandate of the PDP as vice president. He went and formed Action Congress with the other people, and he contested as presidential candidate of Action Congress 2007, even as a sitting vice president, holding the mandate of the PDP.
So, as you can see, he is building a case brick by brick. He's not just making accusations, he's citing specific years and events to back them up. Now, let's watch the rest of the clip, where he continues his political analysis, discusses the 1993 primaries, and makes a bold prediction about Atiku's future. It's quite the performance. Take a watch.
In 2014, it was this same Atiku Abubakar that led the rebellion that pulled down the PDP, that took PDP out of power. When he went to APC and he could not get the ticket of APC, he said a lot of unprintable words on PDP. You can check Google, it is there. Now, the same Atiku Abubakar came back to PDP in 2017. Now, because he has seen that, because the only thing that interests Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is to be president of Nigeria. And I begin to wonder, is it that whether a doctor prescribed presidency to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar so that if you don't become president, something will happen to you? Because that is the way it is. In 1993, let me also say this. In 1993, when Alhaji Abubakar contested for the ticket of SDP in 1993, a lot of us they will tell us that after the first ballot that he came third, and there was supposed to be a runoff election between MK Abiola and Baba Gana Kingibe, that Atiku Abubakar supported MK Abiola. That is, and they will tell us that, because he's a Democrat, he only wants the best for this country. And the issue is this. At the first election, primary of SDP, MK Abiola had 3,000 617 votes to come first, followed by Kingibe, followed by Atiku. Atiku, who had 2,066 votes. Now, the runoff between Abiola and Kingibe, Atiku said he supported Abiola. And Abiola in the runoff election had 2,683 votes. So what happened to Atiku's 2,066 votes? Meaning that he did not support Abiola at that time. So the only thing that is important to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is Atiku and Abubakar. Every other thing, the moment he's in this party, he cannot get ticket to contest, he moves to another party. And let me also say this.
There is freedom of, I think within any party.
Write this one down. After this experiment in their coalition, which I call coalition of confusion.
Okay, now you've seen them all. So it's time to unpack that. Regardless of your political affiliation, you have to admit that was a masterclass in political communication and, let's be honest, a political takedown. Lere Olayinka didn't just disagree with Atiku's decision. He constructed an entire narrative to paint him as a perpetually self-serving and disloyal political actor. His strategy is built on three key pillars. Now, the first framing, that the bad egg analogy, is incredibly effective. It's simple, visual, and immediately positions Atiku as a corrupting influence who is actively harming the party from within. It's a powerful way to discredit someone's character right from the start. Secondly, the appeal to history. Olayinka is very specific. He doesn't just say Atiku is disloyal. You say, as you heard, in 2003, PDP's effort to win Lagos State was frustrated by Alhaji Abubakar Atiku. He brings up 2007, 2014, and even 1993 SDP primaries. By listing these events, he creates an impression of a long documented pattern of behavior. This makes his argument feel less an opinion and more like a historical fact. And thirdly, he attacks the motive. The core of his argument is that Atiku's only real interest is Atiku and Abubakar. He suggests that every political move, every party switch is driven by one thing and one thing only, an all-consuming ambition to become president at any cost. Now, of course, this is a one-sided story. A supporter of Atiku would argue that this move were based on principle. They will say he left the PDP to fight against the third-term agenda under President Obasanjo. They might argue that when he left again in 2014, it was because the party had lost its democratic values. In politics, one person's disloyalty is another person's principled stand. It is only important to remember that Lere Olayinka is himself a political operative. At the time, he was speaking for a faction of the PDP that felt betrayed. So, while his points are sharp, they are not from a neutral observer. What makes this clip so fascinating, even years later, is that the theme he brought up, Atiku's political migration and his ultimate ambition, have remained central to the public conversation about him. This interview is a perfect historical artifact showing how that narrative was shaped and weaponized by his political opponents. But that's my take. I really want to know what you think. Was Lere Olayinka's assessment fair? Is Atiku Abubakar a political nomad, driven purely by ambition, or a strategic politician forced to make tough decisions in a complex environment? Drop your opinion in the comment section below. I read them all. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Subscribe to Obas Trending Gist and ring that notification bell so you never miss another deep dive. Until next time, stay informed and keep the conversation going.